So get out of here with that hypocrisy.
We need some democratic self-respect. Here's the ex-president on Putin. His invasion of Ukraine is genius.
It's hard to think of an example where American weapons have been leveraged with such success as on the Ukrainian battlefield.
Another great one for you guys today, as Marjorie Taylor Greene managed to put her foot in her mouth once again. I know, surprise, surprise, but she got absolutely throttled by a multitude of Democrats because, of course she did. At this point, Marjorie really just stands to represent the dysfunction in the Republican Party, unable to decide day by day if she's going to lash out at Joe Biden or Mike Johnson. Let's start with a young member of Congress, or technically with Marjorie spouting some ridiculous hypocrisy before being called out by Maxwell Frost.
This is an extremely concerning situation. I don't think anyone in the United States government, Americans, do not support actual Nazis or white supremacists. I know I certainly do not.
Interesting to hear my colleague just now talk about disavowing white supremacists when in 2022, she spoke at an event led by white supremacists and white nationalist Nick Fuentes, and when asked about it, doubled down on it and said, we're going to focus on people, not labels. So get out of here with that damn hypocrisy.
I mean, Jesus Christ, that is a crucifixion. And I don't even know what Marjorie expected. The receipts are right here, clear as day. And Nick Fuentes is a literal and self-proclaimed Nazi and white supremacist. So if you've never heard him speak, I urge you to continue that trend or you risk losing about 20 IQ points. And then there's her vehement defense of the Proud Boys. There's a saying, you know, what is it? You can tell a lot about a person from the company they keep. And for Marjorie, when it's not Trump, somebody liable for sexual assault and fraud, it seems to be a bunch of racists.
She said that we need to work with Israel to track down the serial numbers on any U.S. weapons used by Hamas against Israel. Dr. Snyder, I may be going out on a limb, but are you aware that that was actually just propaganda that was put out and there actually were not U.S. weapons that were being used by Hamas?
Yes, I mean, obviously there what you have is a typical example of American-Russian messaging where the implicit idea is supposed to be we shouldn't give weapons to Ukraine because they're going to end up going somewhere else. There's no evidence for that. It's hard to think of an example where American weapons have been leveraged with such success as on the Ukrainian battlefield.
They may be surprised to know that it's actually a former Russian president and Putin's sidekick, Dmitry, and I don't want to slaughter his name, so I'm going to say Dmitry M., who actually she quote tweeted.
As it becomes clearer and clearer, not only the successes that Ukraine has had with our backing, but their need for our continued support, the cracks of how deep the Russian influence runs in the Republican Party really begins to show. And it becomes even more clear how the split is between MAGA Republicans and those who don't follow Trump, which I don't think it's a coincidence that that's where the divide happens. We covered Marjorie just the other week saying Russia is defending Christianity and a slew of other pro-Russia lies just to move more support behind them. Then here quoting a Putin sidekick to spread more Ukrainian misinformation, it shows where their loyalty lies. They ran with Russian lies for the Biden impeachment. It's an actual sickness on the right where they choose them over their constituents. When was the last time you heard Marjorie go this hard for the state of Georgia? I'll let you think about that one.
Here are some of the tweets that were sent out by the last president about President Xi in China. Smart, brilliant, everything perfect. We love each other. Friend of mine, a very, very good man. There's nobody like that. The look, the brain, the whole thing. My feeling toward you is an incredibly warm one. A brilliant man. If you went all over Hollywood to look for somebody to play the role of President Xi, you couldn't find it. There's nobody like that. The look, the brain, the whole thing. And here's the ex-president on Putin. His invasion of Ukraine is genius and pretty savvy. Putin was smart. The man has very strong control over a country, a tough cookie with great charm. So we need some democratic self-respect in order to combat the propaganda. And I am also happy that we saw today a few members actually demonstrate what propaganda running through American politicians looks like.
At this point in politics, the Republican Party is the largest propaganda machine that we have in the country, and about a lot of their intentions, they're rather mask off nowadays. The fascists won a single election and thought it was just safe to come dancing out of the woodworks, only to get trounced in 2020, which is why we have to stay just as diligent as ever, because they will go to great lengths to ensure they can get a round two. And if they do, you see right here the kind of leader that Trump wants to be. He doesn't have to worry about getting a second term now, staying favorable, or winning another election, so he can go all out in scorched earth, so to speak, with his wishes. He tried to thwart democracy before, so now he's going to know what to do, what not to do. This time, it's going to be a sharper tool that he's using, and the propaganda machine will be back to running full force if he succeeds. So that's why it's more important than ever to keep chomping at the bits, calling this nonsense out as we see it, and highlighting the successes of the good guys so the fascists can never get back into power and adopt the traits of Putin and Xi that he so clearly admires greatly. If you enjoyed this video, we're Social Society. We're a commentary channel influenced by politics, society, and the economy. We are pretty left-leaning on this channel, but we're open to our right-wingers as well. The biggest thing here is having conversations that get everyone to the bottom of the truth. If that sounds like something that could interest you, consider smashing that subscribe button, leaving us a like, or even commenting on this video. We even have memberships available as low as $3 if you'd like to support, because the only way we become a society is together.